So Cricut just announced new cutting machines, the Cricut Maker 4 and the Cricut Explore 4. So what's the deal? How are they different or similar to the current machines, which I have behind me on my island here in my kitchen? And are the new machines worth getting if you are new to cutting machines? And are they worth upgrading to if you already have a machine? All great questions. I'm going to answer them, and we're going to find out together in this ultimate guide to the new machines. Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here. Let's look closer at the new Cricut Maker 4 and Cricut Explore 4 machines. We're going to unbox both machines together to see how easy they are to set up and how they perform. Cricut says we can make 10 projects just with the materials that they put into these boxes. For real. So let's find out if that's really possible. I have brought out a bunch of stuff for my kitchen here at my new studio, and I am up for the challenge. And thank you to Cricut for sending me these two new machines in advance so I could review them for you early. Now, as always, I do not accept any free stuff, nor do I do any sponsored content, so I can remain completely objective. So I will be giving these new machines away, and the same ones, in fact, that they sent me, I'm going to give you away. I will explain how that works at the end of this video. I would love to give them to you. So the Cricut Explore 4 and the Cricut Maker 4 are computer-guided cutting machines, and they are the next generation in a long line of awesome machines. Cutting machines are so cool because they basically cut and do what you tell them to do, and you don't have to be an artist or a designer to make amazing things. Now, if you're not sure what a machine like this really does, they can just do so much to help you be creative and make cool stuff. They can cut hundreds of materials like vinyl, paper, and iron-on vinyl in intricate designs quickly and precisely, which makes all of these projects so much faster and so much fun. And Cricut cutting machines can also do some cool things like use extra tools to write, like they could actually draw for you with a pen, right? So they can write, they can draw, and they can foil. But I know you want to know, what's the difference between these machines? And more importantly, what's new about them? So the big difference between the Explore 4 and the Maker 4 are the tools and the cutting force. All right, so the Explore works by dragging the blade across the material, while the Maker works by actively positioning and turning the blade as needed. The Maker has 10 times the cutting force, which allows it to cut up to 300 materials. Everything that the Explore can cut, plus extra things like leather and basswood. And the Maker is compatible with more tools too. While the Explore works with 6 tools, the Maker can use 13, including the rotary blade, the knife blade, the engraving tool, debossing tool, and a scoring wheel. Now, the new machines are faster than their predecessors. That's the big difference between the 4s and the 3s that are behind me up there, right? And they're especially fast if you use smart materials for matless cutting. The smart materials have a thicker carrier sheet, so you can feed them right into the machine without dealing with a machine mat, like normal materials would need. And it's so much faster when you do that. Plus, you're not limited to the mat size, so you can cut designs up to 12 feet long. And I think that's great for batching projects, which we're going to do today. The smart materials are 13 inches wide with 11.7 inches of cuttable width, or just under 1/4 inch more space than the normal vinyl. So first we're going to unbox the Explore 4, and then we're going to unbox the Maker 4 so I can show you everything. So I'm going to clear off my table, move some things over, whatever, and we're going to get all straightened up here, and we're going to unbox these one by one really quick. All right? All right, so first the Explore 4. Inside the box, we have a envelope. This envelope is important. Don't throw it away. Inside the envelope, we have your warranty information, safety warranty information, and we have a bunch of materials. Looks like we have some vinyl, some transfer tape, a whole bunch of stuff. There's some cardstock in here too. This is a lot more material than was given out to projects in the past. So these are the materials that come in the box. We're going to talk about what is in the box a little bit later. So also in this envelope is a pen. So they're giving you a pen, and we're going to use that today too. And right here, taped to the envelope, is a mini weeder. right? So this is gonna let you weed your vinyl right away without having a weeding tool. All right, so this is really useful. So we're gonna set these things aside for now so that we can get to the Cricut 4 itself, which you can see right here. Oh, and there's one more thing. There is a blue light grip mat included in the box, which is super useful because you're going to be able to do cardstock projects and other things that use a mat right away. For other materials, like the smart materials, you don't even need a mat. So that's pretty cool, right? All right, so let's get everything out and onto a flat, stable surface. Ooh, pretty color. Also in the box, underneath the Cricut Explore 4, we've got our power supply and we have our USB cable. All right, so let's set those aside. Just make sure there's nothing else in there. Don't just throw away your box and not, and miss the things that were underneath the machine. All right, so there's the Cricut Explore 4, unboxed, not set up yet. All right, next, the Cricut Maker 4. So again, inside we have an envelope that in here we've got the quick start guide, some more test vinyl, and the warranty and safety information. And as well as bonus material that we're going to use. It's basically, it has the same things in here that the Cricut Explore 4 does. Let me just open this up and show you. So a couple pieces of cardstock, the pen, the little weeder tool is here as well. So everything that the Explore 4 has, the Maker 4 has also. That's an important general rule to remember that. All right, let's take everything out here. Again, we've got things inside the box here. All right, so don't overlook those and just throw the box away. In fact, I recommend you keep your boxes. The same blue light grip mat is in here, as is a power supply and a USB cable. So let's take off the shrink wrapping. All right, so we've got our Maker 4 and our Explore 4. Now let's talk about the things that came in the boxes, okay? The cutting machines themselves, right? With the envelopes containing the bonus material for our first cuts. We also, in both boxes, we had power adapter and power cord. Also in both, we had USB cables, right? And we had one machine mat to use the cardstock that came with our bonus materials. And we have a black fine point pen. So in both of my bonus packs that came with both, each of these machines, I have 3 sheets of 13 by 6 inch smart adhesive vinyl, 1 sheet of 13 by 6 inch sheet of smart iron-on vinyl, 2 11 by 4 1/4 inch sheets of cardstock. There's 2. In my case, they're both yellow, and a sheet of transfer tape so that you can transfer your adhesive vinyl. Now, your colors may differ from mine, of course, right? I don't know if that part is standardized. Remember, there are other things in the boxes. They're underneath the machine, so they might seem a little hidden. Don't forget about those. Now, the Explore opens with just a touch of the button right there, and the Maker opens by just lifting the lid like this. Now, inside both the Explore 4 and the Maker 4, you will find the premium blade housing. It's already in the clamp in both cases, right? Now, just remember to remove this styrofoam that is included during packing. We don't want that there when we're doing our first cuts. Both of them have storage trays right here. There's nothing in them. They are empty, but of course you can put things in there. That I like to keep the pen, any extra blades that I might end up with, and weeding tools and that sort of thing in there. Now, as you can see, these 2 machines have the same shape, size, and overall look as the previous generation of Cricuts, which you can see behind me. The Maker 4 has a glossy finish. The Explore 4 has a matte finish. And this is the seashell color, which is a sort of a warm white, almost a super, super, super light pink. An ecru, I would guess seashell is what they call it. It's very pretty, it's very neutral. I'm sure it'll go with everyone's decor. This color will be widely available from what I understand. There is another color, however, I don't have it here, but I think it's sort of I think it's sage, sort of sage green. Now, the machines are otherwise very similar to the Cricut Maker 3 and Explore 3 that I've got behind here. So there's not going to be a big learning curve if you are just upgrading from one of those. They both still open like the 3s, have accessible buttons and lots of storage nooks, even a device rest. So this tray right up here, you can put like a phone or a tablet right up here and it'll rest right there. Both of the machines still have the helpful material guides right here to keep your matted and smart materials feeding correctly. They both have powerful sensors located right around here that will help you do print and cuts. And they both have the same tool carriage that slides right along like this. All right. So these look very familiar, right? Now, even though these machines are faster, you can still use all the same materials and blades from the earlier machines, right? So you don't have to buy new blades or mats to get started, especially if you already have an Explorer or Maker currently. Okay, so that's important to note. Now, I have noticed that the new Cricut 4 machines did not come with a quick start guide. Now, that's not really a big deal. The quick start guide was just a few pieces of paper that said, plug in your machine and then basically go to Cricut.com/setup. So instead, in your warranty book on page 5, there's some instructions on how to power on. Very quick. It's very easy. And then to set up, it tells you to go to Cricut.com/setup. So we're going to do that together. So to set up your new Cricut, you just need to have a compatible device. It could be a computer or a mobile device. There's lots of different ways to use the software. The software for these machines is called Cricut Design Space, and it's free. So when you are ready, the best thing to do is to go to Cricut.com/setup and follow the directions for setting up your new machine. I'm going to do it with you really quick. Pick cutting machine, then download and install the software if you're new. And welcome if you're new, or open the app if you already have it, right? Now I'm going to show you the steps with the Maker 4, but the Explorer process is almost identical. Step 1 is to place your Cricut at least 10 inches from the wall so it doesn't hit the wall as material passes through it. So right now I have plenty of space behind my Cricuts. There's like tons of it, right? But if you had it up against a wall, make sure you have at least 10 inches behind it. Now you'll want to plug your power cable into the back of your Cricut and then plug it into a wall outlet, a power strip, or a power cord, and then power it on. You'll hear it come to life and the clamp assembly will move back and forth a bit. Step 3 is to connect your computer or device to your Cricut, either with a USB cord or wirelessly with Bluetooth. I prefer a USB cord. So that's called a wired connection, and it is the most reliable. So you just plug the included USB cable into the back of your Cricut and then plug the other end into your computer's USB port. I'm going to use a USB extension cable as my computer is not right next to my machine, right? And that lets me have it a little further away. You can get USB extension cables for quite inexpensively. I will drop the link to them in the description of this video. Then click continue and your computer will find the cutting machine. If you want to connect wirelessly, pick Bluetooth and the machine will automatically connect to your computer. If you have any troubles, the page will load with some helpful fixes to try. Now the screen might also show downloading updates, so if it does, be sure to let those run. Now it's time for a test cut. Make sure the blade is in the Cricut and that there isn't any packing material still left and in the way. When you're prompted, put the test material right into the machine since it is smart vinyl and it doesn't need a mat. Make sure it goes under the guides and evenly touches the rollers. Press the flashing load and unload buttons so the machine draws the material in a bit using their sensors to make sure it's properly aligned and long enough for the design. And when the go button starts to blink, that's the middle button, that means it's time to go. Just press it to start the cut. When it's finished, the load and unload button will flash, so press it to remove the material. And there's a fast, easy sticker perfect for a storage container. That was so easy. One of my favorite things about the Cricut, either the Explorer or the Maker, it doesn't actually matter, is really how easy they are to set up and get started. You can do it in 15 minutes or less. And I set up the Explore 4 using the same method, and it worked perfectly too. Now let's see about making 10 fun projects with just the materials included in the box. I want to do this. So we're going to see if it's possible. 10 projects. That seems like a lot for this material, wouldn't you say? right? I feel like it is. We might have to get creative, but that's okay. Creativity is fun. All right, so in preparation for our video today, I put together a collection of fun and creative designs that are perfect for decorating a kitchen. Because as I mentioned, I am in my kitchen right now in my brand new studio on Maker Farm today. So today's kitchen projects are to personalize a sign. So here's our sign blank, a glass jar, a stand mixer. I got a new mixer, isn't this super cute? A tea towel set, and I'm gonna put some vinyl on my light switches because I keep forgetting which switch goes for which things, and an apron, right? I'm gonna make the apron for my daughter. I'm gonna make a custom water bottle as well. Plus, I am going to use the cardstock that came in the box to make a card and a paper flower. If you want to make any of these as well, you can find the designs completely free over at jennifermaker.com/Cricut4. So let's start with the Smart permanent vinyl that came in the box and some of the transfer tape, which looks like this. There's actually 2 pieces of transfer tape that came in the envelope. For the first 4 projects, I want to customize some water bottles, and I want to add some cute labels to my light switches over there. And then I'm going to decorate this jar for my flower. And I'm going to put some vinyl on my fancy new mixer. Isn't this cute? Such a great color. So those, I think I can get 4 projects out of the 3 sheets of vinyl they gave us. All of these designs should fit on 2 of those pieces of vinyl that came in your envelope with a little adjustments on the prepare screen. And here we go. They cut perfectly. They look amazing. You can see I've got several different designs on here. I'm going to show you how they work, right? Now I'll cut the designs apart because we can still use some of the intact material by placing it on a mat. So there's no need to waste it. Then let's try the included mini weeder to remove all of the excess vinyl. It works pretty well. The included transfer tape is enough for several projects, especially since you can reuse the transfer tape pieces. So save them for another project. Plus the guidelines help line everything up on the blank. And here's the custom water bottle set. And then I use the same steps to add my word stem flower to this pretty glass jar to hold my flower. And Hello Beautiful will be a nice boost on this sign. Even the little icons for my kitchen lights went on without any trouble. And the project that I'm most excited for, my new mixer to help with my bread making hobby. I love that I could add vintage details to such a new appliance so easily. So that's 5 projects, and I even have a piece of adhesive vinyl left. Now let's see what we can do with the included iron-on vinyl using the Cricut Explore 4. These designs will go onto an apron for Alexa and onto a tea towel. This time we'll also mirror the designs since we're using Smart iron-on vinyl. Smart iron-on matless heat transfer vinyl goes in the Explore 4 the same way. Just make sure you're cutting the material, not the carrier sheet. Just like the adhesive vinyl, the mini weeder worked nicely. The cuts were consistent and everything came away cleanly. And I love how the projects came out. Aren't these just so cute? I really love adding happy little touches with my Cricut cutting machine. I love how it lets me personalize everything. And they are so fast to make, even with the customizing steps. So that's 3 more projects. So we've done 8 so far. Finally, cardstock. Cardstock has a lot of possibilities, but let's make a card and a paper flower with the included pieces. I'll use the included black fine point pen to draw a cute card design. The card will be on the first mat because it's not attached to a cut layer. I'll place one of my 11 by 4 1/4 paper sheets the long way on the included blue light grip mat and smooth it into place. Then back on the prepare screen, there isn't an option for that material size, so I'll keep it at 12 by 12, but move the design so it will draw on the cardstock, not the mat. For the flower part, I plan to position the other piece of cardstock the same way, so I'll move the pieces so they fit on the paper. Click the first mat so it loads first, and then click continue. Set the material to medium cardstock and follow the screen prompts. All the card needs is a careful fold. And the flower takes a little craft glue, and then it looks great on my decorated sign. It's so cute. All right, so that's projects 9 and 10. And I even have some material left over from what came in my box. And you can use these scraps on machine mats like normal vinyl too. So Cricut is correct that it is possible to make 10 projects with just what's included in the box. And I think that is great so that you can start making things right away without needing to buy more stuff. Or you don't even have to get more tools. Maybe you need a little glue, even just like Elmer's glue, that would work, right? Or a glue stick in this case. It would work when you're first learning, right? And having the materials in the box is so helpful, especially when you're new to Cricut and you don't quite know what you should get. Now, Cricut says the new machines can cut up to twice as fast if you use smart materials, but I know many of us use machine mats. So how do the new machine speed compare in that case? To find out, I timed how long the new machines and their predecessors took to cut my cardstock flower using a machine mat. Each machine was connected using Bluetooth, so these times would likely be even faster if I used the wired connection. I used the medium cardstock setting with default pressure to see how the machines compare on accuracy too. The Cricut Maker 3 was actually the slowest at about 1 minute and 14 seconds, from pressing the middle flashing button to being ready to unload the project. But the cuts were complete, so I wouldn't need to increase the pressure or make a second pass, which would have added to the time. The Cricut Explore 3 was just a few seconds faster at 1 minute and 9 seconds. However, the cuts weren't all perfect, so I would have had to run a second cut if I needed the pieces to be perfect. That would double the time. Now, the Cricut Explore 4 took just 39 seconds, so almost twice as fast. While the Explore 4 was technically fastest, I had to help the delicate flower middle detach from the mat and cardstock, which took some time and care. And the new Cricut Maker 4 took just 44 seconds. Plus, the cuts were perfect. All of the pieces came off the mat without trouble, saving time overall. So if you mainly use matted materials, you'll get faster, more efficient results from the Cricut Explore 4 and Cricut Maker 4 compared to the earlier machines. Just not quite the same increase that Cricut mentions for smart materials. Now, they're not as fast as the commercial level Cricut Venture cutting machine though. So keep that in mind if cutting time is your biggest concern, right? That machine is really fast, but still they're faster, right? So that's cool. The setup process was easier to follow than previous versions by quite a bit. So that's a huge improvement. And the new colors could be a deciding factor for some of you, especially if you have a darker themed area, right? Because in addition to this seashell color, it also comes in like a darker sage. Now, I do worry that maybe that darker sage machine will show scratches and fingerprints, maybe even little bits of paper lint will show up on it because they will tend to show up on these lighter machines, but we can't really see that. I don't know if that's really a big deal. Something to think about if you wanted to get that color. It wouldn't bother me. I'll tell you that right now. It would not bother me. We're making things. They're not supposed to be in pristine condition. It's totally fine. But I know it could bug some of you, so I'm letting you know. All right, the big question, how much do the new machines cost? How much does the Explore 4 and the Cricut Maker 4 cost at launch? And where and when can you get them? So I'm grateful to see that Cricut has lowered the price on these a bit. Not a huge amount, but they're still less. The Cricut Explore 4, with all the tools and materials that I showed you today, will launch at $249. That is less than the Cricut Explore 3 cost when it initially came out in 2021. So the price has come down. The Cricut Maker 4 will be $399, which is also less than the Maker 3 cost. So thank you for the lower prices, Cricut. We all appreciate that right now. And even better news, you can order either one starting tonight. Both the Cricut Explore 4 and the Maker 4 will be available to buy online at midnight. To get them, go to jennifermaker.com/Cricut4, where I have links to buy them, and my discount code is there if you want to save on any extra materials or tools that you can get at the same time. So go there to get all the links, also more pictures, more information. I have an ultimate guide on my blog as well. So what do I think? Well, overall, I think the new Cricut Explore 4 and Maker 4 are pretty awesome. I really like the color. I will admit it's very soft. It's warm color. I like this color. I'm totally looking forward to having this color. I know we're not supposed to pick our craft supplies and tools based on how pretty they are, but it is nice when they are pretty. All right. And as always, I love how they let me really personalize my things and make them my own. So I don't end up with a cookie cutter home that reflects only what you can get mass produced in the stores. right? That is really the shining light about a Cricut, is you get to make all of these cool things with yourself, with your own hands. So you have all the mental health benefits of making things. And then they're just so cute. Like, I can't buy this in the store. See, it says flower on it. It's just cool that we can do this, right? And we can do it at home, and it's actually pretty easy. Now, if you're just getting started with Cricut and you know you want to make full-size projects, I think either of these machines will serve you well, especially with the included materials to get you started. Or if you feel limited by a smaller machine, or maybe you have an older one that's much slower or doesn't work with the smart materials, then upgrading to an Explore 4 will open new possibilities. And if any of the special tools for the Maker 4 really intrigue you and it's in your budget, you'll be nearly unstoppable with this machine. This is my favorite. The Maker is my favorite. But if you have a recent machine that is serving you well, I do not think that you need to run out and upgrade right away. Sure, these machines are faster and they've got pretty colors, but that's not a make or break issue for most of us, right? So if you need it, go for it. It's awesome. They worked perfectly right out of the box. They're the next generation, so I would hope they would. But if you don't need it, don't buy anything that you don't need or can't afford, okay? Either way, I just hope you will find a way to be creative. That's what truly matters. Now, if any of this seems overwhelming or you find that you just need more help, I totally get it. Don't worry, you are not alone. And I can help you set up your new Cricut Explore 4 or Maker 4. I can teach you all about the tools and materials and what they can cut. And I can help you dive into Cricut Design Space in my totally free class called Cricut Kickoff. In Cricut Kickoff, I walk you through everything with videos, step-by-step, instructions, workbooks that you can print if you want. It's all completely free. There's no strings attached, anything like that. You can register for the series at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Kickoff and get started immediately. Tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people have used Cricut Kickoff to get off running on their right foot. Or if you already are feeling pretty confident with your Cricut and you're looking for ways to advance your Cricut and your crafting skills, check out my exclusive advanced program at jennifermaker.com/advance. And that's going to help you create one-of-a-kind projects with easy-to-follow workshops. There are more than 15,000 of us in the program, all creating and learning together. I give detailed workshops and exclusive toolkits so you can gain the skills to create designs that are truly your own, all in a seamless ad-free learning experience. Enhance your creative process with my exclusive members-only resources, including templates, cheat sheets. We even have member challenges, which are a lot of fun. You'll also enjoy early access to my huge library of projects, tools, and files to keep your inspiration flowing. Now, enrollment isn't always open, so don't miss your chance to join us. You can head on over to jennifermaker.com/advance now to learn more and take your crafting skills to the next level. All right, so if you have any questions about the new Cricuts or about making these fun projects, let me know. Just drop your question below this video or come post them in my awesome Cricut group. It's at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters. That's also going to help you learn more and get inspiration to use your Cricut cutting machine. Because the worst thing that you can do is not take it out of the box and use it. Getting a Cricut. I got my first Cricut 8 years ago now. In fact, almost exactly 8 years ago. I got an Explorer, a Cricut Explorer. I just got it on an impulse. I saw it in the store. I'm like, I can use this to do this project I had to do. And I am not exaggerating when I say that Cricut changed my life. Having a tool that let me make things and then share the things I made with others, which is what I do through Jennifer Maker. I cannot stress what a huge deal that was to me and the doors that it opened and continues to open still. This studio that I am in right now, we just finished building it, and this happened because I got a Cricut Explore. It sounds so funny to think that could lead to this, but you just never know sometimes. When you take to something and you love it and you can't stop talking about it, often amazing things happen. All right, now remember I mentioned at the start of this video that I'm not keeping these machines that Cricut sent me in advance. Instead, I want to give them away because I don't accept free products. All right, so I'm giving these exact two machines away, both the Maker 4 and the Cricut Explore 4. If you want to learn how it works and enter, just go to jennifermaker.com/Cricut4 to learn more and enter for your chance to win a new Cricut. And remember, you can access all of my projects and information on the Cricut Explore 4 and Maker 4 over at jennifermaker.com/Cricut4. And I hope you'll use at least one of my designs because they're all free. And if you do, I want to see what you make. I mean, of course, I want to see what you make, even if you use anyone's designs or come up with your own designs. I love seeing your projects. So until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.